Hi, everybody. Today, we are going to be comparing two insurance giants, Allstate and State Farm. We're going to be looking at the good, the bad, everything in between. We're going to look at average rates, what the customers have to say, and what you should know before you look any further with either of these two programs. Now, but before we get started, the most important thing I need for you to know for today is this step. In any of your insurance shopping, no matter what part of the insurance journey you're in, be sure to compare insurance quotes. FreeAdvice.com is the absolute perfect place for you to do that. All you have to do is click on the type of insurance you're looking for. Today, we're looking at auto insurance. You just click compare rates, put in your zip code, and bam, you're going to be presented with a list of customized quotes that are tailored to your specific needs. So do not skip that step. No matter what you're looking at, no matter what factors you're thinking about, if you don't compare customized quotes that are based on your specific needs, how will you know that you found the best deal? How will you know what discounts you could be missing out on? What big savings you could miss out on? Okay, so let's get back to our Allstate versus State Farm review. Let's start with Allstate. ABC order, that's fair. Let's start with their financial history. Here you can see market share, premiums written, and loss ratio. All right, so clearly a huge company, over 10% of the market share. We've got over 22 billion premiums written in 2022. And the loss ratio, over 67%. Now that's the percent that is paid out in claims, so paid, given in insurance claims by Allstate, out of the percentage that they are paid in premiums. So the money that their customers give them, the percentage that they're paying out. So that's a very high percentage that they're paying out in premiums. In claims out of the premiums that they're paid. So looking at the same things here, we've got market share, premiums, and loss ratio. As you can see, the loss ratio is even a little higher here. We've got a higher market share and over 41 billion direct premiums written. So as you can see, just at a quick glance, this is a bigger company. They're paying out more claims out of the percentage that they're getting, even the money that their policyholders are paying them in premiums. So should you look at this comparison here? Should you look at this Allstate versus State Farm comparison in company size and be like, well, there's the winner. Of course, I'm going to go with the bigger company. No, you shouldn't. You should compare the customized rates based on where you live and your specific driving profile, your driving record, where you live, your gender, your age, all of those things. So you're going to put in your zip code, you're going to click compare rates, and FreeAdvice.com makes it so easy. Once you pick the vehicle year, let's just say it's 2024. Let's say you're driving a Chevy, you've got a Camaro, it's owned. We're just going to answer some questions. And then, boom, you're going to be listed. You're going to be given, once you get through that progress, you're going to be given a list of customized rates that are specific to your exact needs, your exact driver profile, and the budget that you're looking for. I can't say what's the best rate on any given day because it's always changing. But then once you get locked in on that quote, you're golden. So that's the key here. I can't stress it enough. All right, so we've looked at their loss ratio, their market share. You've seen the comparison here. All right, let's look at some pros and cons of the two companies. So this is the score that FreeAdvice.com has given Allstate versus State Farm here. So we've got a very close score of 4.09 for State Farm and 4 for Allstate. With Allstate, as you can see, we've got higher monthly auto insurance rates at $166 a month for good drivers. We have AM Best at A+, complaint level very, very low, which is great. We want a low customer complaint level. Now see, right off the bat, you can see a very big difference in the monthly rates. Only $86 for State Farm a month. That's $80 less a month and almost $1,000 less a year if you're choosing State Farm over Allstate. So if it's going to come down to money, Maybe that means that State Farm is going to be a better choice for you. But does that mean that State Farm is the better choice in your area? No, you've got to go to FreeAdvice.com, use the free quote comparison tool, no strings attached. You just plug in your zip code and you'll have the customized rates based on your exact needs and where you live. State Farm might be more expensive based on your driver profile. All right, let's look at some more pros and cons here. So we've got, we saw that the monthly rate is higher, but we see here that they've got, Allstate has multiple coverage options, they have various discounts, a lot of savings programs. So just because the monthly average rate is higher, that doesn't mean that you couldn't qualify for savings. That could, make your overall rate over the year lower. For cons, we've got lower than average customer service ratings. That's a big one. We have higher than average auto insurance rates, which we saw. For State Farm, some of the cons that we see here are higher than average rates in certain locations. So there you go. Like I was saying, State Farm could be more expensive based on where you live. No option for gap insurance. That's a big one if you have a financed car. Above average customer satisfaction. So that's a really big pro. That's so important. So what the policyholders have to say. That's a big one. Several options for discounts on coverage. That's great, especially when the starting point is so low. Generous rental car and travel expense coverage. That's really important for travelers. All right, let's keep going. So let's take a look at some of the business ratings. MarketWatch put this together. They've got a really good comparison that we can take a look at. So we've got that Allstate was established in 1931, State Farm in 1922. So we have a little bit more history there. And then for their AM Best Financial Strength rating, State Farm wins a bit with an A++, that extra plus there. The Better Business Bureau gave them both an A+. With 2022 JD Power rating is higher for State Farm at 877 out of 1,000. And MarketWatch had given State Farm best customer experience. So they've gotten that award for State Farm. Now looking more at what MarketWatch has to say in the scoring here, we've got State Farm is the biggest car insurance provider at over 16% of the US market share. And then Allstate is over 10% of the market share, so still a very big company and fourth in the nation. Now we're talking in the United States, there are hundreds of amazing car insurance providers that have great deals and great discounts and good commercials. They've got billboards and park benches. You've seen so many options that it's overwhelming. I mean, we are given the question, what is the best car insurance provider out there on a daily basis? This is no easy thing to navigate. So should you look at the market share and just decide, well, State Farm is bigger. Their rates are better. End of story. Why would I even keep watching this video? I'm just going to go with State Farm. No, you shouldn't. You should go to FreeAdvice.com and compare the auto insurance rates. It's so easy. You're going to get to this comparison box. You're going to start with your zip code, click compare rates, and you'll be given a plethora of options based on your specific needs, the vehicle you drive, where you live. It is going to vary drastically based on your driving history, your age, your gender, and we'll get more into that. But these are just some background things. This is stuff that's important to know, especially with the huge investment you are making on your insurance. This is no little thing. You're going to be spending hundreds of dollars a month. You should know these things about the company you're putting your money in. State Farm being the biggest in the nation for car insurance, Allstate being ranked fourth, those are both great. These are, small things when you're talking about the top five, two of the top five insurance providers in the U.S. Okay, so let's get to the MarketWatch overall rating out of 10. They gave State Farm a 9.4 and Allstate an 8.8. Both really, really high ratings. But let's take a look at the breakdown of that. So Allstate overall, you see that 8.8, State Farm 9.4. Reputation, Allstate was a little bit behind there, but Allstate did win out for availability at a 10. That's impressive. Coverage, they tied at 9.2. And cost, that was a big one there that really hurt Allstate at 7.4, whereas State Farm got 9.3. Another big one is State Farm's customer experience. We did talk about that. That's an award that they got. That's a big one. So that's something that really tells you State Farm's policyholders are happy with their experience. That's really important to know. Okay, now let's take a look at some more details about these companies. So Allstate and State Farm have two of the most popular telematics programs in the United States. It's a big deal. Now, if you're not familiar with that term, telematics just means driver monitoring. So that's the plug-in device or the app on your phone that monitors how safe of a driver you are, how many miles you're driving, depending on the program. It's going to monitor different things. Now, DriveWise and Drive Safe and Save are two of the top-rated driver monitoring or usage-based auto insurance programs in the United States. These are award-winning programs. Let's take a closer look at Allstate DriveWise usage-based auto insurance program. All right. So here's some key facts for you to know about DriveWise. The rates will not increase. That is a huge one. When you're signing up for a driver monitoring program, you need to know, is there going to be a risk of my rates going up if I have some bad driver reports or some less than perfect driver reports? They will not with DriveWise. You can save up to 40% on your annual premiums. That's big. You get a 10% discount just for signing up. That's an easy 10% off. So when you're looking at those average baseline rates that we've been talking about, well, it's lower right away when you sign up for DriveWise. AM Best gave it an A- in the most recent report. You see here what it monitors. You have two options. You've got a mobile app and a plug-in device. Now, I wanted to specifically show you this because DriveWise is one of the things that Allstate is best known for, and it's a really good way to lower those premiums. All right, now let's take a look. This is directly from the State Farm's website. Let's take a look at what State Farm has to offer with the Drive Safe and Save discounts. They're not as good as Allstate, so here's something that Allstate wins for. Their driver monitoring program discounts are better at Allstate. Okay, so DriveWise discounts win over Drive Safe and Save. All right, so the discount amounts at State Farm for Drive Safe and Save is 10% for signing up and a 30% discount for safe driving, up to 30%. So that's going to be what you can earn based on how good your driving reports are. If you are looking at definitely choosing usage-based auto insurance, should you just sign the papers there? I mean, DriveWise. DriveWise has better discounts. It's got a 10% and then 40%. It's done. Let's just not even talk more about it. Decision made. No, don't do that. Go to FreeAdvice.com, put in your zip code, put in the specific vehicle you drive, because there could be amazing savings out there that we really don't want you to miss out on. Take a look at what the best rates are you could get from the top providers in your area. This is not a bias review. We are not getting paid by Allstate or State Farm to give them a review. This is 100% just honest, just looking at the data, looking at what's out there and trying to give you the best advice I can. And everybody's unique situation is different. Everybody's rates are different. Every day the rates will fluctuate. So you really do have to compare. And at FreeAdvice.com, it's completely free. There's no strings attached. We're not going to bug you with emails, phone calls, things like that. You don't have to email out a bunch of different providers, make a bunch of phone calls. You just put in your information and see what quotes are out there. Okay, so we went over the discounts for the telematics programs. I wanted to show you this because this is pretty cool, just a little tidbit for you to know. For State Farm, we did an analysis on some sports cars and what was the cheapest provider for those popular sports cars. The Nissan GTR had State Farm as the cheapest, so most affordable car insurance provider. Now, the monthly insurance is $344. It's not very cheap, but State Farm did win as the cheapest provider. So that's just something cool. If this is the vehicle you drive, first of all, I love it. Very nice. But there you go. State Farm wins. You should just sign up for State Farm, ultimately. I mean, no questions asked. No, don't do that. Go to FreeAdvice.com and put in your zip code. See what is specific to your area, even if that's the car you drive. The rates could be lower from a different provider. There could be a small provider that doesn't have big ads that I might not even know about that could be perfect for you and your specific situation where you live. Let's get back to comparing these two insurance giants. All right, we have insurance rates by coverage level. So we're comparing minimum versus full coverage here. Now, as you can see, Allstate on the left, State Farm is right over there to the right. Allstate bars are higher. So yes, this is going to be a trend that we're going to continue to see. The bigger difference here is the full coverage. That's where the bigger spread is between Allstate and State Farm in looking at US average. It's $74 a month more. So Allstate is $74 a month more and nearly $900 a year more than State Farm. Let's take a look at rates by mileage. So looking at a 10-mile commute and 6,000 miles a year, Allstate is $139 more a month and $1,688 more a year. That's a big deal. So that's something to think about. You know, if you're a telecommuter and you don't drive a lot, then that might not be a big deal for you. But if you've got a long commute, that's a big difference in price there based on miles that you drive. That's just comparing Allstate and State Farm. At FreeAdvice.com, put in your zip code, put in the vehicle you drive, and we'll be able to get a customized quote based on exactly what you're looking for and from all of the top providers near you, not just these two. So just keep that in mind while you listen to this head-to-head review. Let's take a look at full coverage driving rates from these two providers by driving record. This is a big one. Okay, so the bigger spread here is when you have one ticket. So one moving violation of any kind. The bigger spread is going to be between Allstate and State Farm. There's a difference in price for clean record too. But if you've got one ticket, it's going to be $92 a month more at Allstate versus State Farm and over $1,100 more a year with Allstate. So if that should give you more motivation to drive safely. I mean, we all want to avoid tickets. It's more expensive than you would think, the difference in price, that just one is definitely eye-opening, and it can encourage all of us to go. Okay, here's another look at car insurance rates by driving record. Now, the biggest spread here, we've got clean driving record, one accident, one DUI, and one speeding ticket. And the biggest difference between State Farm and Allstate here is for one DUI. All right, so here's a big one. It is $2,628 more a year to go with Allstate over State Farm if you have a DUI. So this is something that's important to look into when you're looking at which car insurance provider is right for you. You're starting that search, you're comparing companies. Your driving record is huge. And after a DUI, you really should look carefully at which provider you would consider, because as you can see, some providers are more forgiving than others. So if you have a DUI, you should probably just go with, now I would say USAA, but they're for the military members and their families only. So let's look at the companies that would work for the general drivers. We've got State Farm. State Farm is the cheapest on this list, which is ironic since that's one of the companies we're talking about today. So if you have one DUI, you should definitely just go with State Farm. Go to their website, sign up with State Farm. No, that's not the advice I have for you today. Go to FreeAdvice.com, put in your zip code, and compare the rates that are based on your exact situation. Yes, you have a DUI. Yeah, you know that State Farm is more forgiving than some other providers, but there could be better deals out there for you. There could be discounts that you could get. There could be a high-risk premium, or there could be a high-risk policy that's perfect for you. That's exactly what you need. So don't limit yourself. This is just some general information based on US average rates. Don't limit yourself. See what there is out there for you. And Free Advice is the perfect place to do that. So now let's take a look at the cheapest states for these two providers. So we've got the 5 cheapest states for Allstate are Iowa, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Hawaii, and Alaska. Then the cheapest states for State Farm, we've got Minnesota, West Virginia, Massachusetts, Idaho, and Hawaii. State Farm's cheapest state, which is Hawaii, is $95 a month cheaper than Allstate's cheapest state, which is also Hawaii. So that's pretty interesting. So if you live in Hawaii, you should go with State Farm. No, don't do that. Go to FreeAdvice.com, compare the rates that are specific for your zip code. Just because overall in the state Farm is cheaper, that doesn't mean that State Farm is going to give you the best rates. You have to base it on the vehicle you drive, your gender, your age, all of those specific details. Now, let's look at the most expensive states. Allstate has Kentucky, North Carolina, Delaware, Louisiana, and Florida. Those are the states that Allstate has the highest rates. For State Farm, you've got Nevada, New Jersey, Utah, Arizona, and Alabama. And you might be asking why. Why are the rates so different based on states, based on providers? And that's what I've been trying to show you as much as I can today, is that rates are going to vary so much by day, by driver, by state, but just by zip code. You really have to drill it down. There are so many factors that are going to affect your rates. The mileage you drive, how far your commute is, your age, your gender, where you live, if you're married, the list goes on and on. So you really can't just base it off of one or two factors or one impressive ad. Go to FreeAdvice.com, put in your zip code, and see what personalized quotes are there for you that offer you the best rates. It's the best way, really the only way, to know that you found the best deal. Okay, this is an interesting fact. State Farm was ranked third for the best provider in Florida. And USAA is ranked first, but that's only for military members and their families. So out of the providers that are good for the general public, State Farm would technically be second if you were to not look at USAA. And the monthly rates in Florida are $153 a month. So that's a great choice for a lot of Florida drivers. We've got the California full coverage average monthly rates. And if you see here, Allstate, the bar is higher than State Farm. Let's see how much more expensive. If you do the math there quickly, State Farm is nearly $900 cheaper a year than Allstate in California for full coverage. All right, let's look at Florida, and we're going to look at rates by driving record. The biggest spread here is going to be when you're in Florida, you're a driver in Florida, the biggest spread is going to be for one accident. So if you've had one accident, it's $127 a month cheaper to go with State Farm over Allstate. And you're going to save $1,524 a year by choosing State Farm over Allstate. Now, I'm not saying choose State Farm over Allstate, even if you live in Florida, even if you have one accident. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just showing you the difference. First of all, the difference that your driving record can make. Secondly, I'm trying to show you the difference that all of these factors make. So it's not just about where you live or your driving record. It's about all of these things and how they add up and how much these rates will vary. The most important thing you could take away from today is go to FreeAdvice.com, plug in your zip code. You can look at the customized quotes for you at FreeAdvice.com. You'll get a list. You can easily see what the providers have to offer you, and they're competing for your business. Take advantage of that. It's free and it's there waiting for you. See how much you can save. All right, let's look at Kentucky. The reason why I wanted to show you this one is because it's a pretty big spread. It's $138 a month more in Kentucky if your provider is Allstate versus State Farm. You can save $1,656 in Kentucky if you choose State Farm. But this is just an average. It's going to be based on the car you drive, how much you drive, your age, your gender. Go to FreeAdvice.com to get those customized quotes that are based on your exact needs and driver profile. All right, in South Carolina, we're looking at driving record again, because that's a big one. The biggest spread is going to be after one DUI. The rates, Allstate's rates after one DUI are $1,896 more a year than State Farm. So you can see the difference though. It's pretty big. That's what average rates in South Carolina. Auto insurance rates by age and gender, and we're looking at, this is US average, okay? So the biggest spread here is 16-year-old females. They are charged $128 more a month by Allstate, and another way to look at it would be State Farm is $1,440 cheaper a year than Allstate for 16-year-old females. That's something for you to keep in mind as, a parent of a teen or as a teen driver yourself. As you can see, those really tall bars over there, some providers are going to charge you a lot more. So be sure to shop around. FreeAdvice.com is a perfect place to do that. Just plug in your zip code and you'll get customized rates based on your age, gender, where you live, the car you drive. It'll make it really easy for you. Just make sure you don't overpay for your car insurance. As you can see, you easily could. You could easily pay more than you have to. You might be curious what the average rates are, Allstate versus State Farm for an 18-year-old. That's another really big one. You're saving money for college. Money is not coming easily at this age. This is an important time to really be careful with where you invest your money in and the company that you choose. And as you can see, Allstate is sitting at over $10,000 a year for car insurance rates for an 18-year-old. You could save $4,131 a year by choosing State Farm over Allstate. Even less with Erie Insurance. What I really hope that you see from this, though, is that comparing car insurance rates is so important. We see so many people every day that are overpaying for their car insurance, and we really don't want that to happen to you. Just put in your zip code at FreeAdvice.com and compare the personalized rates that come up for you. Those quotes, those providers they're working for your business. Have them work for you and make sure that you're getting the best deal. Don't just throw your money away, especially if you're a teen driver. Car insurance is already expensive enough. Make sure you're getting the best deal. Let's look at the average rates from top providers for full coverage, and this is for age 30. So we're not talking about teen drivers right now. We're talking about age 30, and we're looking at male versus female. So we've got Allstate over on the left, thanks to alphabetical order. The bigger spread here is 30-year-old males. 30-year-old males are going to pay $888 a year more at Allstate than they would at State Farm. Let's talk about discounts. Both State Farm and Allstate offer bundling discounts. That's a big one. When you are looking into your car insurance, think about ways that you can save money. Think about ways you can lower those premiums. And a big one is bundling your policies. We don't just need auto insurance, we need home insurance, we need life insurance, we need health insurance. Bundling those policies with the provider can provide big savings for you. So be sure to keep that in mind. Now that we've gone over average rates, we've looked at some state averages, we've looked at age, gender, we've looked at their business ratings. Let's take a look at what US News, what they had to say about Allstate versus State Farm. They did a good analysis of these two providers. They listed some pros and cons like we did at Free Advice, so I wanted to share these with you. Some of the pros for Allstate. Low premiums for drivers with poor credit. That's a big one. That's a good reason to look into Allstate if you have poor credit. Prior driver tracking program satisfaction. Now, we did talk about that. DriveWise is a highly rated program with great discounts, 10% for signing up, and then 40% for safe driving. Cons, rates trend higher than State Farm and the national average. We saw that today over and over again. Low satisfaction rates for customer loyalty and likelihood to recommend or renew. That's a big one. What the customers have to say is huge. You really do need to factor that in. All right, and then we've got State Farm. Pros, high satisfaction rates for customer service, customer loyalty, and renewal likelihood. It's huge. Competitive rates overall, also big. In this economy, we're all looking to save money where we can. That's a big reason to look into State Farm. Cons, higher rates for drivers with poor credit compared to most insurers. Okay, so compared to most insurers and specifically compared to Allstate, because Allstate's good for drivers with poor credit. So that's a big one to compare there. And then we have lukewarm customer survey responses for claims handling. So the customer satisfaction is good with State Farm, but when it comes to claims handling, it seems like it's more of mixed bag or lower reports and reviews there. So US News went into which is better, Allstate or State Farm. They gave a score like we did. Our score was just a teeny bit higher for State Farm. We're seeing the same thing here. Allstate at 3.7 and State Farm at 4.1 out of 5 stars. They wrote that State Farm is very well rated for customer service, customer loyalty, likelihood of renewal. About 47% of Allstate customers state they're completely satisfied with Allstate's value, compared to 50% with State Farm. So these are really close reports. Yes, we are saying that State Farm wins out in this head-to-head competition. We agree with this score that we saw here. You saw our scores in the beginning. But does that mean that I think that you should just hands down choose State Farm over Allstate because they've got a higher score and they have some higher ratings? No, Definitely don't do that. Don't just jump to who has the better scores. Don't just read some reviews and then make that a decision there. Look at the rates based on your custom quotes. Compare quotes, shop around, and look at what the providers are quoting you. Look at the rates that they're telling you they will be charging you, because that's really all that matters. It doesn't matter what your neighbor is charged or what they're happy with or not happy with. It's going to boil down to what you need, you and your family, based on the vehicle you drive, where you live, your age, your gender, your driving record, all of those things. So go to FreeAdvice.com, put in your zip code, answer a few simple questions, and you will be provided with a list of custom quotes to choose from. Have the providers work for you. Don't make it harder on yourself than it has to be. At FreeAdvice.com, our quote generator tool is free, no strings attached. We're not going to bug you. We're not going to share your information. This is truly just a place to get free insurance quotes. Okay, so you saw the US News rating. What I'm going to show you here is from autoinsurance.org. I wanted to show you this where Allstate got ranked first. I did tell you in this head-to-head review we are doing today in this video, we have picked State Farm. I've gone over the reasons. They have lower rates overall. When you look at gender, when you look at age, when you look at the different states, when you look at driving record, their scores are a little bit higher overall. Their customer satisfaction scores are higher. They're a bigger company. They have a high loss ratio. They're paying out a lot out of that percentage of money that they're getting in from policyholders. All of these things are good signs. Allstate is also a very good company, but when you do these head-to-head reviews, it can be really tough. It's a very close call between these two, but overall, looking at averages, looking at the states and the rates and the reviews and what policyholders have to say, we are picking State Farm for the winner of this review. But I did want to end on a positive for Allstate. They were ranked number 1 on autoinsurance.org. Autoinsurance.org does a lot of best rankings for providers. They also do a lot of the cheapest providers based on certain factors. And in this specific one, it was a competition for the best auto insurance companies that offer cash back for safe drivers. We keep seeing this trend. It keeps coming back. DriveWise is a really good telematics program that Allstate has. So it's usage-based. It's based on your driving, and they will reward you for safe driving. 40% off, 10% off for signing up. These are big. So Allstate did win number 1 in this category. 25% multi-vehicle discount, A+ with AM Best, and customizable rewards. I did want to make sure you saw this. There are so many positives. We could go on and on about Allstate. Yes, State Farm does win overall, and State Farm's rates are lower when you're looking at the state averages and when you're looking at specific gender averages. But Allstate does offer lower rates for those with poor credit. So there you have it. For our Allstate versus State Farm review. State Farm wins in the end. Allstate is also a very good company. Allstate is great for drivers with low credit scores. Allstate is a great choice for you. State Farm does have lower rates overall and does win for great customer service, but that doesn't mean you would want to take Allstate out of the ranking. The most important thing for you to take away from this video today is to be sure to visit FreeAdvice.com, put in your zip code, see what the personalized quotes come in for you, have those providers fight for your business. They want your business. They want you to make your insurance investment with them. This is no little thing. This is how much money you're going to be spending, thousands of dollars on your insurance. You need to know that that company is going to be filling those claims, doing it on time and filling the claims that you need. You need to know that they're going to be there for you, but you also need to know that you're not overpaying. So it is a big decision. Be sure to compare rates. FreeAdvice.com is the perfect place to do that. FreeAdvice.com is where you can get those free customized quotes based on your exact needs. Thank you for watching the video today. Be sure to check out our YouTube channel with all of our other videos. We are posting every day, all week. We have as much helpful content as we possibly can be publishing. We will be sure to share the biggest deals that we can find, insider secrets, when providers are dropping out of states, what we suggest you do when that happens. Free Advice isn't just for car insurance comparison. Free Advice offers comparison for all types of insurance and also a lawyer search. So if you have a car accident and you're in need of legal help, FreeAdvice.com can help with that too. We have a free legal search as well. You know, maybe you had a DUI or maybe it was an auto accident injury. You can get the legal help you need. Look at what it is that you need help with. family law, employment, personal injury. Visit FreeAdvice.com for any of your legal or insurance needs. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with a friend. If you have any advice for someone else watching, please leave a comment below. Maybe you've used Allstate or State Farm. Maybe you're a current policyholder with Allstate or State Farm. Please leave your reviews below. Leave a comment, advice for someone else. That would be so valuable, and we really appreciate it. We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and be sure to check out, we do have a specific video. We have Allstate DriveWise. We have a review on that. We also have a review on State Farm's Drive Safe and Save. Be sure to check out those videos because they go deep into what those driver monitoring programs are looking into, how you can save money, advice for how you can even remove trips based on if you had a trip that you felt like there was some hard braking and that could hurt your score. We give advice on that. So be sure to check it out. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you at the next video.